Evening all. Welcome to stream with me, Kaiden. And I'm not going to do that. No, hi. Welcome. Hope you're all having a lovely Monday full of joyous things. Today is going to be a modding Monday stream. Which isn't what we normally do, but you know, I'm feeling whimsical. I'm in a little bit of a Skyrim modding Lucien development sesh zone at the moment, so let's continue on with that. Now, over the last few streams, we've been in Beyond Skyrim stuff. So we've done, worked on Lucien's Beyond Skyrim Bruma patch, we've tested that, I've got that out into beta testing, that all seems to be going well. There were a few things that came up that people had suggestions of things to change, which I've implemented. We're on to beta stage 2, no one seems to be reporting any further issues. I'm hoping, all being well, we can release it quite soon, sort of in the next couple of weeks. We certainly seem to be on track to have it done by Christmas, which is fabulous. That's going to be version 1 of the Beyond Skyrim Bruma interaction patch, which is very cool. While that's being worked on, we've also started looking into the other Beyond Skyrim releases, namely Wares of Tamriel and the Bonemold Weapons Pack, which are both smaller than Beyond Skyrim Bruma. And are sort of previews of future Beyond Skyrim content. But I just thought it would be nice to have Lucien just comment on all the Beyond Skyrim mods that are there, especially since the other ones aren't as big, they won't take as long. And then we can just sort of fold Beyond Skyrim into our sort of collective Lucien canon stuff. And then if you just get that, and there are various sort of distribution patches that exist for those Beyond Skyrim mods to place them in the world even more as well, so you can take even more advantage of the lines. So it just feels like a good sort of thing to do. Point is, I can't work on continuing the Beyond Skyrim Bruma main patch development until we're through beta testing, because you don't start adding new content while you're testing the existing content. So I want to release that first before we start working on version 2. So I've got this sort of gap in the meantime to work on those other things. So I thought today we can start on that. But I also have, because last time we tested out that stuff. Like we played through Wares of Tamriel and the Bonemold Weapon Pack. So we know what we're doing with that. But also what I need to do, and this isn't a very long job in theory, is I need to backport the current version of the Bruma patch over to Skyrim Legendary Edition, Oldrim, which, to be honest, very, very few people who play Lucien are still playing. When I look at my stats of Lucien downloads, like 98% of them these days are on Special Edition, and there's a tiny, tiny fraction of people who are still downloading Lucien on Oldrim. So there is still some demand. It's just very, very small. But I want to still, you know, keep it compatible, keep that, you know, not drop those people who aren't moving across the Special Editions. So we are going to include it. I'm going to do a little backport. I'm going to test it just very briefly, just to check that at least some of the lines are firing. Because if at least some of them are firing, we can assume that all of them are firing. Because there's very little sort of, there's very little reason when backporting that only some lines would work, but not others. You know, we can just sort of pretty much assume it's the same. So we're going to do that. The process of backporting for something like this is spectacularly simple. We're just going to do it in SSE Edit and opening it once in the creation kit just to save it. And it should be fine, because we've not got any meshes or anything. So it's so easy, it won't take us very long. And then we'll just go ahead and get that going. Shout out from Ninja to Ninja for fingers crossed having obtained a new microphone. That's hopefully good. Awesome, Ninja. Very cool stuff. Right, anyway, I can see a few new names in the chat today. People who maybe are previously been lurkers or first-time viewers or whatever. Welcome, new people. Hello, Love Cookie. Hello, Smalls Little Man. Well, I mean, hello, everyone. Hey, Ninja. Hey, Toby. Nempt. Hello, Nempt. Fox and Lunico. Morgan. Nuna. Check. Idrinth. Greetings. Lovely to see you all. Okay, right, so yeah, if you've not followed the channel, please do follow the channel, because then you'll see like notifications and stuff when I'm live, and that's always nice for me. Oh, that sounds like a deal, Ninja. Well done. Very good. Bargain. Right, so let's do that. Let's start the process. I just need to reduce my screen resolution so you can actually stand a chance of seeing what I'm doing. And we'll summon Tiny Lucien to assist us. And then we're going to get right on this. Get on it like a hound dog on a pork chop. I heard that in Blazing Angels on the Nintendo Wii. And it stuck with me. Anyone ever play Blazing Angels? It was a really fun World War II dogfighting game. Well, it was really fun for me when I was younger, a few years ago. But yeah, they'd say when you were being shot, like quite a lot, they'd say, because it didn't have that many lines of dialogue to cycle through, it would say, "Either on me like a hound dog on a pork chop." Oh, it was great. Right, okay. We've minimized that. We'll have Tiny Lucien. Don't know why Indiana Jones is stuck in my head today. Okay, right. Let's go screen with camera. Whee! Oh no, didn't work. Let's go again. Woohoo! I'm in my little... And there are so many Josephs. I need to get better at these transitions, really. But what can you do? Right, we're going to open SSE Edit. But first, before we do anything more, I'm just going to pop you back to camera because we forgot to back up. We need to back up our ESP because we're about to mess with it, to backport it. Actually, I've already got a backup because I got the version I shared on Discord with my beta testers. So I can just restore from that. So it's fine. It's fine. We don't need the backup. Ignore me. I'm full of nonsense. I talk nothing but tomfoolery. Anyway, so we're going to open the Bruma patch. Whee! Please consider supporting further Xedit development. Yes, do that, viewers. Please do consider supporting Xedit. It is a wonderful tool, spectacularly useful, has saved so much time over the years. If anything deserves your support, it's this. Much more than I deserve your support. Because this is like useful for all mods. So here's our Bruma patch. And what we're going to do is we're going to go here and we're going to, first thing first, we're going to remove the ESL flag. Turn this back into an ESP. And then I'm going to close it and reopen it. Ha! I should change my name, Cthulhu. So just to be clear, it wasn't a full ESL before, it was an ESL flagged ESP, which is why you're able to just simply change that flag back to change it. If it's a full ESL, it's all a little bit more complicated. But that's fine, so now it's an ESP. Now we're going to, and I've got to be honest, it has been a very long time since I last did this. So please forgive me if I make mistakes. But I think what I can just do here is go apply script. And I can go update form, records form version. There we go. We're looking for everything that's form 44. And we want to change it to form 43. And just run this. And actually what we wanted to do is run it on everything. So let's just do this again. There we go. And those have all changed. So now we can save. Now, if we right click on this and we say check for edit, check for errors, you'll see, oh, we don't have any errors. So this is new. Maybe this is an update to SSE Edit. But normally you get tons of errors when you do that. I'm going to close it and reopen it again and just see if those errors are in fact there because I'm curious. Do not ask about the other form numbers, Cthulhu. These are the deep, dark mysteries that none doth understand. The numbers are 43 and 44. All else is mystery. The realm of Hermamora. Forbidden knowledge. I think they're probably for other games. I'm not sure. Check for errors. Well, knock me down with a feather. Shows what I know. No errors. I can only assume SSE Edit has got better at handling this sort of thing. But historically, what happened when you backported something, when you changed it all to Form 43, is it became instantly full of errors. And then you had to resave it in the Oldrim CK to make it work. Let's have a look-see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it over into the right place. I'm going to get that new backported ESP and the BSA corresponding to it, and I'm going to drag it over into my Oldrim installation. I know some of you get upset when I call it Oldrim. You know what I mean. These days, it's all about Skyrim version 1.6 versus Skyrim older version than that. You know, A versus SE. Oh, most people stick with SE because it's easier to mod. Oh, actually, I think you'll find most people stick with A. And you still get the occasional person in the comments section who jumps in and insists that Legendary Edition is by far the most popular version. This is not what I want. I want Bruma. Which is not true. It's just the numbers do look like that. If you go on the Nexus, you'll see mods have way more downloads on Oldrim. And that might make you think, well, that means Oldrim is the version that's way more popular. But those are old downloads. Those are the downloads from many moons ago. Because Skyrim itself used to be way more popular than it is now. See, that's not true, Love Cookie. The vast majority of mods have long since been available on SE. But there's still this perception from very old articles written about it that Oldrim is for some reason more popular with more moddable. It's not. Anyway, shout out from Ninja to Nuna for just being very helpful with SKSE 64 because the naming conventions are so silly and I was so confused. Nuna is a good egg. Well, as your Dominion, I think it's because of this perception that it's that people work under the presumption that Oldrim has more mods available for it and don't actually check the new information about it. Because Special Edition is so much more stable. And so much easier for mod development as well. Now, I am in that there is a strong argument for developing mods on Legendary Edition or Oldrim and then porting them across to SE. Because if you're planning on releasing on both, there's way more documentation about the process of porting forward. There's very little about porting backward. But backporting really isn't that hard. But there are still very big names like Arthmore who say that you shouldn't ever backport mods. And these people do know what they're talking about. Now, I don't understand why not, because it seems to work fine. But there are people who really know what they're talking about saying you definitely shouldn't be backporting mods. So there's an argument to say you should listen and not do it and go that way forward. But the fact is the SE creation kit crashes 1/100th of the time that the Oldrim CK crashes. You know, it's so much easier to use. When you get Newcomb's creation kit fixes, the Oldrim CK is just so much... Sorry, not the Oldrim. The SE CK is so much easier to use than the Oldrim one. Like, its mod development is dreamy on SE. So, for me, that's worth any potential trouble you have in backporting. And so long as you make sure to very, very thoroughly test your thing, make sure your backport works and no one's had problems, then I don't see a problem with it. Nuna does rock all the socks, it's true. Okay, so I have dragged the Bruma patch, the backported Bruma patch, into my Legendary Edition directory. So let's open TES5 edit, which I very rarely open these days. And I want to open the Bruma patch, but of course I can't because I don't have Beyond Skyrim Bruma installed. So let's do that. It is, of course, a bit risky installing Beyond Skyrim Bruma on Legendary Edition, because it's very intensive. And Legendary Edition, or just Oldrim, is very crash prone. But we're going to do it, just for the sake of testing. By the way, I just know, I'm already regretting having talked about LE versus, Skyrim Oldrim versus Special Edition. Because even though it's been so long, I'm sure there will be some people in the comments section when I post this on YouTube who will be intensely, strongly in favour of everyone sticking to Legendary Edition and Special Edition being the absolute worst forever. So I know I will get shouted at in the comments section at some point by someone based on this discussion. But hey ho! I'm just downloading Bruma on Legendary Edition. So where are we looking? Mods. There we are, Bruma. Let's install that. Doesn't actually matter. Just use newer file. I have never used Mod Organizer 2, so I can't tell you about it, Hakim. But I have used Vortex for, ever since they introduced it as the successor to Nexus Mod Manager, and it's always been delightful for me. Ah, this download has slowed down spectacularly. Okay, we'll bear with that for a bit. Maybe it's because I'm streaming at the same time, it doesn't like it. Oh, well, it's in the process of download. It seems to have paused. Huh. Yeah, it's not very keen, is it? It's thinking. We'll let it think. Ah, speed's going up. Is the stream still okay? It's not going funky? Yeah, okay, I'll let it do its thing. Meanwhile, while it's doing its thing, let's start creating the other patches. So we'll pause the process of backporting. And instead, we're going to open up Lucien.esp, wherever that is. And let's start with the Bonemold Weapon Pack, just because it's smaller. Because we can whiz through this quite quickly. Whee! Let's copy this. Just copy as override. In 2, we're going to create a new... let's just make it start life as an ESP. And then we'll turn it into an ESL later, because I had trouble before. Lucien. Beyond Skyrim Bonemold Patch. And I'm also going to add a master, which is going to be Lucien.esp. And then we'll delete this record. Can I do an American accent? Yeah, howdy, yo. You bet I can, Smalls, little man. This is my American accent that covers all of America. This is definitely a universal American accent. It's how all Americans speak. Y'all. Yeah. Uh-huh. Have a nice day. Unless, like, you're a valley girl, and you're, like, from the valleys, and you're just, like, and you were at Chad's frat party, and it was just so awesome, and then I saw him, and then he saw me, and he was like, are you going over to spring break, and I was like, yeah, spring break, man, and we went on a spring break, and then I went down to, I don't know, I've run out of American words, but there you go. I am an accent chameleon. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, American people. I apologize to the entire US of A. There we go. This is downloaded now. Enable. And enable. How did I manage to splice Texan with East Coast like that? I don't know what I did. It's just American. I didn't do any splicing. It's just the best I can do. So if that's what it's ended up as, you're welcome. Why are you telling me missing masters? Because it's disabled for some reason. Let's enable all of this. BS Heartland. Yeah, do it. And Lucien. Just for some reason disabled. There you go. What do you mean incompatible mod archives? Oh! I forgot they don't like SEBSAs on Oldrim. Huh. Okay, let's re-archive it. I don't know if I ever knew that. Have I been using SEBSAs on Oldrim all this time? I don't think I have. But anyway, it doesn't like it. So that's fine. We shouldn't ignore that. We'll fix that. Let's just finish up here. So we've created the Bonemold patch, which is fab, so we can work on that in a bit. And then, let me just pop you back to camera for uno secundo. While we delete the Lucien Bruma patch BSA and instead re-archive ourselves one. Yeah, they do both use BSA, but there are obviously different types of BSA. I may well have known that at some point. Does this fill you with confidence at my modding ability? Oh dear. See, the problem with doing these streams is I give myself away as a total fool. You know, if you don't stream, if you just create mods and put them online, you can maintain this sense of mystery. Like, no one has any doubt that Gary knows what he's doing. Everyone's like, smart blue cat, yeah, he's amazing. He's a master of modding. Which is great. And he remains all mysterious and just does a few interviews, but generally is like this mysterious character we don't know anything about. And here we are. You see me being an idiot. No, the script folder has not changed file path, Nuna. The source script folder has changed file path, but you don't need source files. The game doesn't read source files. You only need those for working in the creation kit. Everything is the same file path, otherwise. Anyway. Oh no, it's not that I make more mistakes while streaming, Adrinth. It's just that I don't know what I'm doing. I've been at this for years, and I know nothing. Anyway, so if I go to my Skyrim directory, and here is archive.exe. I'm just going to make ourselves a new one. Scripts, SEQ, sound. Drag that all in there. Meshes. We don't have meshes or textures. No, we just got sounds, voices, and misc. We'll do all the things. And save. Common. Skyrim. Data. Lucien Bruma Patch. It's an Oldrim version of the BSA, 'cause apparently that's a thing. And we'll close that, and we'll have a look in Vortex, see if it's happy now. We'll disable that. And then we'll enable that, and it's got no notification, so I assume it's fine. For follower interactions, I noticed Lucien could unlock training with followers like Inigo. Which other followers does he interact with that do this? None. Inigo is the only follower Lucien interacts with where he can learn training from. All the other followers he interacts with, the full list of which is on my website, but I think you know that. You're just asking about the training. None of the other ones can teach Lucien, it's just Inigo. So far. What does he mean? What is he talking about? Oh, you won't know! You have no idea. But just to tease you, I wrote some training scenes with another follower mod the other day. And you can speculate about that as much as you like. This is the sort of exclusive news you get on my streams. So, we've put that across there. We've activated it. So if I close and we reopen, no, wrong one. It was your follower, Bob the Happy Pigeon. Nuna, please make that mod. I would really like to download Bob the Happy Pigeon. That sounds like a wonderful mod. You haven't heard that from me, Smalls Little Man. I never confirm which followers I'll be doing interactions with prior to release. Because they require so much they require so much collaboration between mod authors. So please don't get excited for anything I haven't announced. Right. Let's do a check for errors. Just to see if it will. You see, I find this so odd. You always used to have to resave it in the Oldrim CK to make it work. Look, just for the sake of old habits, I'm going to do that. Just to reassure myself. I'm just going to resave it in the Oldrim CK. I'm not sure you need to now, clearly. But I'm just going to do it. If it'll open. Obviously wants to do it through Steam. Right. Let's have a look. Lucien Bruma patch.esp. This is exactly what I mean when I say that the special edition creation kit is so much easier to work with. I'm sitting here waiting for files to load. This isn't a thing on the SCCK. They would have loaded like a minute ago. But I'm sitting here watching it go from 96% to 97% to 98% to 99%. It's now initializing. Come on! We've got things to do! Literally all I want to do is click save, and we're pretty sure I don't even have to do that anymore. Bah! Nya! Huya! Netsukonya mamangitsi baba. We're still going. Look, Lucien. Everywhere you see is my kingdom. What about that shadowy place over there? That is Lover's Lab. You must never go there. Okay. Right. I'll pop you over there. We're still loading. Oh, Lucien, you fell. It's the circle of life. And it moves us. You want Circle of Life as Lucien. From the day we arrived on this plane of Mundus and blinking stepped into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. Circle of life. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Oh! File in use. Is that because we've got Vortex open? Let's try closing Vortex. And give it another go. Maybe that's why it's taking so long. Just cancel. Give up. Oh! No, you're doing it now. What? Is it fine? I mean, that's all I wanted to do was save. So if I just close that, is that fine? Let's do one last check. He was in that tavern for a long time, Nuna, and he had a very stressful journey. All I can say is Dead Man's Drink was not the first place he stopped after he arrived in Skyrim. Oh! Why is there a cell edit to Frostfire Glade? I don't remember that. Maybe that's just from saving in the CK. Let's delete that again. Anyway, I mean, I guess that's probably fine. I mean, that looks weird. Oh no, that's okay? Check for errors. Nah, there's errors now! Why are there errors now? There weren't before. Have I upset it? Right, let's have a look. Maybe that saving in the CK was a bad idea. Frostcrag Spire, main quest, Bruma. These dialogue conditions it doesn't like. Ah. It doesn't like Lucien. Oh, that's because Lucien hasn't loaded. We've lost Lucien.esp as a master. Okay, saving on the Oldrim CK was a bad idea. Oh, you can tell how long it's been since I ported one of these patches. I know why! It's because I didn't ESMify Lucien.esp. I forgot you have to do that when you're doing this. When you're doing a patch in Oldrim, not on the Newcomb CK fixes. You know how I said I was a fool? I'm a fool! Delete it. We'll do it again. No, not that one. This is the one we converted. Right. Hang on. Let's get this right. Why? I'm still not convinced we even need to do this. You know what? You know what? I'm curious. Let's just see what happens if I don't do this. Just because it's what I always used to do doesn't necessarily mean it's what I have to do now. It's working, it's the right form version, and it's not returning any errors when I go check for errors. So let's just fire up the game and see what the heck happens if we don't go through all this faffing. Let's try it. I'm just going to pop you back to camera while I download the latest hotfix for Bruma, because I forgot to do that. And by the way, just to illustrate what I mean about Oldrim having fewer users. So the latest hotfix for Beyond Skyrim Bruma, which came out on the 1st of November, so that's over a month ago, on Legendary Edition, has only been downloaded 691 times. Now, for a mod that has 330,000 unique users historically, that is a very low number, which is illustrative of the shift that's happened towards SE. Right, we'll install the hotfix. Hotfix. Hot damn, that's a hotfix. That's one hotfix. Okay. And I'll just make sure it's all active. Lucien Bruma patch.esp. And all the other things are active. So now what we can do is something for you, which is to load up Skyrim Legendary Edition. We're gonna load up Skyrim Legendary Edition. And all that jazz, we're gonna see if it works. Doobie doobie doo. And all that jazz. I haven't used this game in like a year, but let's see what happens. I don't fear. And all our address. Game. And we're going to detect Skyrim. We're going to dismiss Tiny Lucien. Sorry, I want game with camera. I mean, maybe we'll just do a new one. Oh, the resolution's weird. Sorry, I forgot to fix the thing. Hang on, this is probably going to break it. Let's just close and reopen Skyrim. Is it confusing hearing two Lucien voices at once? Let me make it worse for you. Hello there, my name is Lucien Flavius. Small to little man, no! In Cyrodiil, we respect each other's personal space. Oh, I'm sorry, am I in your way? Thank you so much for asking so politely. I like to think of philosophy as a way of conclusively resolving the big questions in life. Or is it? Discuss. Right. We're going to make a new testing character. Whoa. Frame rate's really low.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
What shall I sing? I am a patron at a local inn.
Which inn are you a patron of?
Well, yes, you see, Ghost King, this is my second testing character. Our first one the other day was William Hartnell. Right, Dead Man's
Even
Drink.
the lowest among us can rise to greatness.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
Excuse me, sir. I don't normally do this, but, have you got a moment to talk?
Yes, I have.
My name, I couldn't help noticing.
Yeah, all the things. Yeah, you're fascinating. Yeah, wonderful. Milk,
I suppose what I'm
tag,
asking is,
money,
shall we
septims,
express
discretion,
thoughts? Oh,
gold,
splendid.
adventure.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Lead on.
Is it a quote from something? No, it's just some nonsense I made up like 4 years ago. Now there's 3. This is getting out of hand. Who is my favourite Doctor? I have many favourites for many different reasons. I'm a huge fan of Peter Capaldi. I really like his interpretation of the Doctor, and I particularly like his dynamic with Bill in season 10. The Capaldi, I knew her name. I've forgotten her name. What's Bill's actress's name? Somebody help me out. That's really going to annoy me. Pearl Mackie! The Capaldi-Mackie dynamic, I love. It's brilliant. I mean, my first Doctor was Christopher Eccleston. Always been a huge fan of him. He's brilliant. Right, hang on.
This border is a restricted entry zone.
Give me a sec,
State
give me a
your
sec.
intentions. Why? Someone else wanting to get into
Where's Lucien?
You'd best
He should
speak
do
with
his
the
auto
leader
catch up.
quickly. But
There he is.
it's not the
Right,
most-
buddy. Buddy, old pal. Quick save and reload. What do you have to say, my friend?
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Yeah, I don't use Lucien replacers. I like Lucien
Gosh, this
vanilla.
is the border with Cyrodiil. Why don't we pop over for a bit? I can show you around.
Yay, it works!
This border is a restricted entry zone.
I want to cross the
You and
border.
hundreds of borders locked down. You'll either need official papers or some other justification for your passage. Goodbye.
Anyway, sorry, favourite Doctors, of course. So, Capaldi, Eccleston was my first. I love David Tennant. Obviously, I know that's a very mainstream answer, but I sort of grew up, he was sort of my Doctor growing up. I'm kind of hoping Lucien will chirp up again now. But then classic Doctors. John Pertwee, wonderful. I love his vibe. That sort of old school James Bond / your cool granddad. It's just, I just love it. All the cars. All the hovercraft. You know, the cool, all the cool stuff. Love John Pertwee. Tom Baker, very special. Completely alien interpretation of the calendar. I have his scarf. A replica of his scarf in the other room that my brother got me for Christmas last year. I wore that to Doctor Who Time Fracture, and Romana complimented me on it, which was just, like, wonderful. You're not talking, are you? You're just staring at me like a chump. Did I mess up the condition on this? Ah, now this says convince Legate Centus Jurius to grant passage to Cyrodiil.
This border is a
Whereas...
restricted entry zone. State your intentions. You think I make the not that it takes us doesn't take a genius to realize the No. If I'd heard of you and you'd completed some great deed, I'd be able to justify writing the paperwork and putting my rank on the line. As it stands, I haven't heard of you, and I'm not risking my livelihood for some traveler I've never met. Sorry.
Right, so...
And that's you and me both.
we haven't got the
because I
find
have
an
no reason
alternative
let
way
you
to
through
enter
the gate
Cyrodiil
either.
objective.
Sorry about that, but I have my orders. This border is a
There
restricted
we
entry
go.
zone.
That's
State your
it.
intentions.
Find an alternate means. That's the new objective we updated it to. So being...
They won't let us in.
There we go. That's what we wanted.
I'm with you. Don't they know who I am? I am Lucien Flavius. May I please come in? No? Blank looks all round, I see. Charming.
There we go. Right, it works. I'm happy. Happy as the proverbial Larry. That's fab. I don't need to test anymore because we know the rest of it works. Fabulous, Nuna. Thanks for checking. They were always jelly babies, MMX. When he offered jelly babies, they were jelly babies. Would you like a jelly baby? Daleks do not eat jelly babies. Please remove the confectionery, infant! Not an actual quote. I think Lucien's mother would get him much more cred with the Imperial Border Guard rather than the father. If they're going to let him in based on his family connections, it'll be his mother he needs to talk about. I'm sorry, MMX, I refuse to accept that headcanon. When he offers jelly babies, they're jelly babies. I don't care what might have actually been in the bag when they were filming it. They were jelly babies. I refuse to have my Doctor Who lore besmirched in this heinous way. Where can we learn about Lucien's backstory? So you can check out his prequel story on my website, Lucien, the Flavius Chronicles, War's End. It'll tell you all about his mother. And then if you want more backstory than that, you can either wait for me, I don't know how long, to finally get around to writing the next Flavius Chronicle, or you can ask him about it. Absolutely. You can listen to me read it to you on my YouTube channel, which is actually the best way to support me. Here we go. Let me find it. Because I could always do with the views. Here you go. There's a link. Watch that. Also features my cat. Right, so Lucien Beyond Skyrim Bonemold Patch, created by Joseph Roussel. Did my name? I'm actually a Frenchman. I like baguettes and croissants. I'm not French. Not Bruma. Beyond Skyrim Morrowind. Bonemold Weapon Pack Patch. Version 1.6.3. Grey is very fluffy. She's doing very well. She's very happy. I don't get to see very much of her anymore, but she's always very pleased to see me when I do come home. So anyway, ultimately, to get down to the question of my favourite Doctor, it's either Peter Capaldi, David Tennant, John Pertwee, an honourable mention to Patrick Troughton. The only reason I'm not considering, I haven't mentioned Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, or Paul McGann are because I haven't really seen very much of them. I haven't got up to their eras yet in my watch/read/listen through of Classic Who. But what I have seen of Paul McGann, I have loved. Anyway, so let's make this thing. Oh, hang on. First we need a prefix, which can be 32. Grey is a lovely cat. She's the best cat. And I won't accept any argument on this. And by the way, that's not to say I don't enjoy the other Doctors I haven't mentioned. I do. I think they're all brilliant. There's no such thing as a bad Doctor to me. They're all fantastic. Why did that not work? I'm just picking out my particular favourites. But all the other ones I've seen, Matt Smith, Jodie Whittaker, Christopher Eccleston, John Hurt, William Hartnell, Peter Davison, Joe Martin. I've loved all of them. You know, it's great. I've seen all the Doctor Who, all the classic Who, up to the Arc of Infinity with Peter Davison. Specifically, everything up to the novel Fear of the Dark, which I'm currently reading. What do I think of David Tennant's return and Disney now streaming Doctor Who? Yeah, fab! Makes loads of sense. It's great. Really looking forward to Ncuti Gatwa taking over. I think he's going to be absolutely brilliant. But really looking forward to seeing, you know, David Tennant's 3 episodes, which I'm also thinking are going to be fab. Really excited for Russell coming back. Always been a huge fan of Russell T Davies. Met him once. He was lovely. The Disney Plus thing, I mean, that's great for global distribution of Doctor Who. Great for it to have more budget and stuff. That all sounds fab. I'm obviously British, so it'll still be on the BBC for me. It won't be on Disney Plus for me. But yeah. All sounds really cool. All sounds very positive, exciting stuff. Anyway, so JR32, Lucien, Beyond Skyrim Bonemold. And we're going to say get his ID. JR Lucien. Somebody asked if I spoke any other languages. I think I missed that. I speak a little bit of French. Not great French, but like restaurant French. And that's it, to be honest. I did a year of German at school. But I can say ich war auf der Party, meaning I was at the party. Spargel, meaning asparagus, and Spiegel, meaning mirror. Don't mix those two up. Now, we won't need very many stages for this. In fact, I think we'll probably only have 2. So I'll go stage 10 and stage 20, because I just want to comment on the dead dude. Which we will do as an idol. La 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 la. Ba 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 bum ba 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 ba. Gosh, look at this poor chap. Wonder how he ended up like that. Which we will do a get distance check. Get the distance. Not get disabled. Actually, we will do get disabled. Get disabled equals 0 to make sure you're not using one of the distribution mods that disables him. We're going to do that on get reference, and I'll fill that in using SSE edit in a bit. So I'll just go reference, and we'll leave that blank for now. We're going to do get distance from Lucien. Up. There we go. And I want that to be greater than 0 in order to make sure it's actually loaded. But less than, let's give him 1,000. Let's also do an is dead. Or get dead. Get dead equals 1 to make sure the chap is in fact dead and you haven't resurrected him or something. Okay. Cool. And that I will use get owning quest dot set stage number 10. And actually, I'm going to change that line because it's quite obvious that the bandits who are immediately nearby probably killed him. JR32, Beyond Skyrim Bonemold, has to equal 0 in order for this line to be valid. Let's leave that at the top, actually. Nope. Get stage. Presumably from Morrowind by the look of his armor. I'm going to change that by the look of him, just because that makes more sense in case you have removed his armor by the time Lucien comments. And then I'm going to do a get item count to make sure you haven't actually looted the note. And this is going to be, what do we think it's probably called? BSM, I want to say. Merchant note equals 1, and again on that reference. So I want to make sure that the corpse still has the note. That's correct. I do follow vanilla spelling conventions. Skyrim is written in the American style, and therefore I use the American spellings. When I'm writing British stuff, I use British spellings. It means my mods blend into the main mod, into the main game better. You know, you want them to blend in as well as possible. Make it all seem cohesive. Anyway, so the note actually says that he was on his way to show these weapons to Ulfric. Crumbs. He was on his way to give weapons to Ulfric. Good job. We found him first. That is not how you spell Dwemer, whether you're British or American. Man does not need more things to hit people with. And then we're going to change this to saying get item count on subject. Has to be greater. So Lucien has to have the note, or... and change this to an or. The player has to have the note. Wait, no, that's get distance. I did that wrong. There we go. So the player or Lucien has the note. And I want to say the current stage has to be 10. So he has to have said the first line for him to be allowed to say the second line. So that's going to set the stage to 20. Fab! And that's literally all we need about this quest. Very easy. So now we can do all our comments on the different weapons that are added. So I'm going to create a new topic for the hellos. And this is where, when we pick up next time, we're going to fill it out with a line for each of the new weapons added by the mod. For the player wielding them and for Lucien wielding them. So that should be 16 lines, I think, if there are 8 weapons, which is what I feel like there are, somewhere in that region. And then we'll be done with this little patch. Right! Awesome! I'm going to head off now. I need to go and have dinner and stuff. Sorry it's been a short one, but we've done an hour, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I'll be back on Thursday for another modding workshop where we'll carry on with this, so do tune in then. It's always good fun. Lovely to have you all here today. If you haven't followed the channel, please do. That would be marvellous. And check out my YouTube channels for to catch up on the rest of the previous streams. They're over on my VOD channel, and then more slick sort of edited videos are on my main channel. Look after yourselves. Stay marvellous. And yeah, I'll see you Thursday. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you next time. Bye!